Hi, this is Eileen Fuller, and this is day 26 or 27, I'm not positive, of the 90-day video come up challenge. And I'm going to talk about a tough subject tonight. Um, One of the ways that we need to improve our ourselves is by doing some heavy thinking sometimes. And one of the chapters in this little workbook called You Can Heal Your Life Affirmation Kit by Louise Hay um, is forgiveness. And um, sometimes forgiveness is pretty hard to do. Um, Sometimes we need to forgive ourselves, but sometimes others that have hurt us in our lifetime, if we have not forgiven them, then we're stuck. And I've had some people I needed to forgive in my life, besides myself, for my own mistakes. Here's some questions, some tough questions to ask you. Okay, check the items below that you believe are applicable to you. By the end of this chapter, you'll be able to counter these negative thoughts with positive ones. So there's some great tools in this book. But on forgiveness here, check what applies. I'll never forgive them. What they did was unforgivable. They ruined my life. They did it on purpose. I was so little, and they hurt me so much. They have to apologize first. My resentment keeps me safe. Only weak people forgive. I'm right and they're wrong. It's all my parents' fault. I don't have to forgive anyone. Well, if any of those resonate with you, then that's not surprising, because forgiveness is difficult for almost all of us. But we all need to do this forgiveness work, because anyone who has a problem with loving themselves is stuck in this area. Forgiveness opens our hearts to self-love. Many of us carry grudges for years and years. We feel self-righteous because of what they did to us. I call this being stuck in the prison of self-righteous resentment. We get to be right, but we never get to be happy. I can hear you saying, but you don't know what they did to me. It's unforgivable. Being unwilling to forgive is a terrible thing to do to ourselves. Bitterness is like swallowing a teaspoon of poison every day. It accumulates and harms us. It's impossible to be healthy and free when we keep ourselves bound to the past. The incident is long gone and over with. Yes, it's true that they didn't behave well. However, it's over. Sometimes we feel that if we forgive them, then we're saying what they did to us was okay. Not true. I was listening recently to an audio recording from Dwayne Dyer on Excuses Be Gone, and he had a gentleman on there who was a father whose daughter had been murdered. And the murderer was convicted, was in prison. It was her ex-boyfriend. This murderer was still unrepentant, and Dad hadn't had a night's sleep since his daughter's death. And he was so, and neither had his wife. He was actually just all tied up in knots inside over this. So Dr. Dyer did some work with him, and he was crying, and he knew that he needed to forgive him, whether he was ready to hear it or not. um, it wasn't going to be for this man who was the murderer. It was going to be for the dad. So, and Dr. Dyer had gone through this with other people that had actually regained some peace in their life after this had taken place, and they'd done the forgiving. He also suggested that maybe he wasn't ready to forgive him, but he needed to go and speak with the parents of this young man, because their lives have been devastated also by the fact that their son um, was a murderer and was in prison for it. So anyway, in my life, there's one person that I have done some forgiveness work with. Um, in this book, it tells you you do not have to confront the person. You can do the work in the mirror. And I did this work with my ex-husband and his abuse of my 4-year-old daughter. This happened almost 40 years ago. And at that time, I had to do some forgiveness work on myself for not handling it right, too, because in those days, I grew up in a shame-based household, and it was just extricating us from the situation and hoping that she would forget that this ever happened to her as she got older. And I felt guilty for having placed her in harm's way, unintentional, of course, but years later she did some of her own healing work and brought this all out when she was in her 20s. And at that time, it was, it all came back to me also. And she forgave me. She said, Mom, you did the best you could. And, she did the healing that she needed to do. But it took years, and it took my having picked up this book and having done some more work on me. So it's one of those areas of our life that in order to be a whole person, we need to go through some of these lessons on healing. And one of them is forgiveness. There are affirmations in here. Okay, where are the affirmations for forgiveness? Okay, let's see. Here we go. I forgive you and I set you free. You say in the mirror, you are free and I am free. And then the work. We have to forgive ourselves. Here is a forgiveness affirmations. I am one with life, and all life loves and supports me. Therefore, I claim for myself an open heart filled with love. We're all doing the best we can at any given moment, and this is also true for me. The past is over and done. I am not my parents, nor their own patterns of resentment. I am my own unique self, and I choose to open my heart and allow the love, compassion, and understanding to flush out all memories of past pain. I am free to be all that I can be. This is the truth of my being. I accept it as so. All is well with my life. Forgive yourself, forgive others, and you can be healed. You can heal your life. That's all for tonight. Eileen Fuller signing off. Less than 60 days to the Denver event, where I'll get to meet my peeps again, and we will share some hugs and some personal growth. Some breakthroughs will happen. You too could be part of this movement of personal growth. And there's lots to learn, and even people my age can learn and can teach. So that's all for now. Good night. Where is the turn off button? Right here.